Her name was Remedio's Custodio. She was a close friend of Calca. Another individual was seating with them. Yep. And we've also sent all the non-combatants off to take shelter so there won't be casualties among them. She was Remedio's sister, younger than her by 2 years, Calat Custodio. She was leader of the priesthood in the temples. To public knowledge she could use 4th tier magic, but secretly, she could use 5th tier as well. These 2 sisters were wings of the Holy Queen. Just hearing that gives me a headache. It's pretty bad that we won't stand to gain anything even if we win. Still, they say that the demi-humans this time round are outfitted pretty well. Why not sell their gear? That's right, you know I can't approve of that, Nesama. Let's say we wanted to sell their armor, where would we sell it? You haven't thought about that, have you? We can only sell them overseas, but demi-human armor isn't going to command anything but bargain basement prices. Besides, we ought to avoid strengthening other countries' arsenals until the destroyed wall is rebuilt. In particular, I hope they don't fall into the hands of the Sorcerer's Kingdom. Huh? You don't like the Sorcerer's Kingdom? I've never heard you say that in court, though no priest would like them. You're the same way too, right, Calca-sama? Calca pondered the matter. A king's duty is to love his nation, love his people, and grant them peace. As long as he does that, it should be fine, right? The sisters looked at each other in front of Calca. Love? No way. Could an undead being ever think like that? I agree with Nesama. The undead. I don't think they could love like you do, Calca-sama. The 2 of you are harsh. What did your adjutant say? Calat, tell me our plan for dealing with Jaldabaoth. Yes. We're already discussing how to deal with various situations. I see, then, what do you think will occur? Given the invasion path of the demi-humans so far, it's most likely that they will choose to encircle this city. However, there is a problem with that. What do you mean? Nesama. I'm talking about the demon who wrought havoc in the kingdom, Jaldabaoth. While there's no telling how smart he is, demons are skilled at schemes and trickery. He might adopt a plan we did not foresee. This is quite vexing. Then, if the demi-humans encircle this city, what will happen after that? While food supplies are ample, fighting a defensive siege is going to wreak horrors on morale. Have you considered that as well? Yes. Normally, all we would have to do is wait for reinforcements from the south to arrive, but Jaldabaoth used a mysterious way to break the wall in a single attack. The 3 of them frowned as they thought of a solution. What a pain. Then how shall we beat him? Calca-sama. They say he was defeated by the adamantite-ranked adventurers of the kingdom. Don't you think we could do the same too? That is true. If adventurers comparable to us could do it, plus, I think the power Jaldabaoth used to crack the can't be used repeatedly. If it could, he would conquer the entire kingdom already. That's true. Though I guess we failed in that we didn't gain detailed intelligence about Jaldabaoth's activities in the kingdom. I apologize for that. No, I didn't mean that, Calat. You're not at fault. Certainly not, Calca-sama. It's definitely Calat's fault. Calat puffed up her chest and hemphed in response. In that case, we need to sort this out before we defeat Jaldabaoth. Speaking of which, if only the kingdom had properly finished him off, we wouldn't have had trouble like this. Did Gazef Stranov fight him? Calat looked at Calca with a puzzled look on her face. I really feel sorry for Nesama's vice-captains. HM? Why are you talking about them all of a sudden? Ha. I only know the rough details, but apparently, he fought with another demon which was covered in scales. Really now? Well, if he had defeated Jaldabaoth, things wouldn't have ended up like this. Or don't tell me those adamantite-ranked adventurers are stronger than him. I'm not too sure about that, but I think that might be the case. Remedios frowned in distaste. Well, all he knows is how to use a sword. If he had anti-demon attacks like we do, things would probably have been different. Just then the sound bells was heard. Remedios immediately sprang into action, putting herself in front of the door. Calca-sama, please stand behind me. The door opened. Your Majesty. It's Jaldabaoth. Jaldabaoth has appeared inside the city. He's begun destroying the city with many demons in tow. Also, the demi-humans have made their move. It looks like they're advancing on this place. As she heard her subordinate's words, the doubts in Kalka's heart flooded back again. Had she underestimated Jaldabaoth? HMPH. He's gotten cocky now that he's crossed the wall, but to think he didn't bring his demi-human army with him. Remedios said in anger. Don't lower your guard, okay? Is this the way you ought to be treating an opponent of such power? Of course, Kalka-sama. I don't intend to be careless at all. With this holy sword, I shall relieve the demon of his head and present it to you. Can you buy us some time? No good. I can't calm her down anymore. Can you buy us some time? In that case, let's head out. How could this be? Remedios gripped her holy sword and slashed a demon. She looked at a fallen soldier. Begin healing him. Remedios was accompanied not just by the elite paladins behind her, but also by several priests. One of her vice-captains stepped up and said, would it not be better to let the medics in the rear aid him? If we use the priest's mana here, we might run out when fighting Jaldabaoth, which might be the demon's aim. Shut up. You talk too much. Just heal to the point where he can move on his own. You brave gentlemen, stay that way and listen. We've performed first aid on your wounds, so fall back. After that, let the medics at the rear tend to you. Remedios broke into a sprint at the head of her troops. Soon, Remedios reached her destination, which was a corner of the city. Captain Custodio, the priest contingent and the adventurers have raised their flags. How about Kalka-sama? Not yet. Is that so? Well, it's about time to start casting longer duration defensive spells. Once Kalka-sama arrives, we'll advance on Jaldabaoth first and act as bait to draw his attention. Jaldabaoth hasn't moved from the place where he first appeared. He's looking down on us, that miserable little demon. Probably thinks that if he can kill us all here, he can conquer the country easily. No, Captain. It's also likely that he's trying to stall for time. If we fight him here, the demi-human army might win somewhere else. I see. So that's possible too. This Jaldabaoth is pretty smart, huh? I think he's good at scheming because he's a demon. HMPH. He's just a demon who's gotten full of himself. I'll beat him like a dog and make him weep bitterly. The final flag from Kalka's side went up. Vice Captain. Yes'm. Everyone, we're moving out. Remedios began to run, determined to bury her sword in that demon's face. She turned a corner, ran again, then turned a corner once more. She saw a suspicious-looking person, standing in the middle of a plaza painted bright red and strewn with the bodies of the fallen. A tail was coming out of his rear. Are you Jaldabaoth? Without waiting for a response, Remedios attacks Jaldabaoth. But he dodges her attack flawlessly. Remedios attacks again, this too gets evaded. Remedios' instincts had never failed her at times like these. Fall back. All of you fall back. No, form a cordon. This demon's strong. Jaldabaoth stretches his hands. Ha, what a bullish girl you are. What is it? Could it be you've seen something red? Suddenly troops led by Kalka and Kalat arrives at the scene. Jaldabaoth turns to Kalka, exposing his defenseless back to Remedios. You too. He's very strong. If you don't pull your men back, they'll only die for nothing. Both Kalka and Kalat pulls their troops back and steps forward themselves. The trio circles Jaldabaoth. So, you are Jaldabaoth? Indeed, your slave charged right at me without saying a word. What would she have done if it was a case of mistaken identity? Well, it does interest me that there are savages in the Holy Kingdom who are incapable of speech. Ah, just to be sure, may I ask if you are the reigning Holy King? Indeed. There's no need to tell him your name, Kalka-sama. All you need to know is that he's Jaldabaoth, and all we need to do after that is kill him and dash AR, Remedios. We're talking, On the background, Kalat readies her most powerful 5th tier spell. Still, I am magnanimous, so I shall chat with you for a while. Do you have any questions? Jaldabaoth touches his eyes region of the mask. I won't let that happen. Remedios steps forward with her sword unsheathed. Sorry, Remedios, but could you quiet down for a bit? Kalka says in a frustration. Remedios, step back for a bit. But if I move back, I won't be able to cut him down if he does anything weird. That is fine. I will not attack until we finish speaking, or until you launch an attack of your own. As if we could believe what a demon say, Remedios. Understood. Remedios fells back and stands behind Kalat. Kalka-sama is trying to get some information, can't you see? So, bear with him. Remedios grimaced as she heard that. Now then, Demon Emperor Jaldabaoth. I have some things to ask you. Why have you come here? If you wish to trample this country, why not move with the demi-human army from the fortress? Or could it be, you need say no more? I can imagine what you wish to say. It would seem you are mistaken. The reason I have come here alone is not to parley with you. I see, there are 2 reasons why I have come here alone. The first is because crushing you by myself will deepen your despair that much more compared to if you were slain in a chaotic battle with the demi-human forces. The other reason is in order to avoid making the same mistakes as in the kingdom. I had not expected to meet a warrior there who was as powerful as myself. Therefore, the fact that I have come here alone is to see if there is a being comparable to me. There might be, you know? Of this I am certain there are none. That is why I have given you all this time. If anyone like that did exist, they would be in this city by the side of you, the most important person in this nation. Yet, I have not found anyone like that. That includes those sniveling rats hiding themselves away. You bastard! Are you saying we're weaker than that warrior? Remedios screams in angers. That is exactly what I am saying. Did you not hear me? Is that all you wish to know, Holy Queen Sama? While there's one more thing, angels, advance. Angels hiding in the perimeter comes forth and takes flight. Their 5 archangel flames, 20 summoned angels from 2nd tier spell and 1 singular principality of peace summoned by Kalka herself. At this moment 5 adventurers appears behind Jaldabaoth. Jaldabaoth did not respond to the adventurers who had suddenly appeared. Remedios activates her class Evil Slayer and decharges forward. She uses her skill, Flow Acceleration. Just as her sword is about pierce Jaldabaoth's throat, it is stopped by set of claws. She infuses holy power in her sword Holy Strike. The angels also launch their attacks at Jaldabaoth. The adventurers behind Jaldabaoth tries to attack but are swept away by the tail of Jaldabaoth. The Demon Emperor parries Remedios' sword, pushing her back. The angels' attacks have 0 effect on Jaldabaoth. Penetrate Magic, Holy Ray. Twin Penetrate Magic, Holy Ray. Both Kalka and Kalat casts their spell. But their attack was ineffective as the angel. That meant he possessed very high magic resistance. The adventurers ran over to collect their comrades who had fallen. How bothersome. Even if they are nothing more than insects, a swarm of them is still unpleasant. Do you think we've never fought enemies like this before? Kalka thinks as she signals the angels. The airborne angels rushed Jaldabaoth as one. They did not use their swords, but tackled him. Jaldabaoth without any hassle cut through every angel as if they are leaves. Remedios had moved subtly to step into an opening in Jaldabaoth's defense, trying give a fatal blow. She swings her sword with all of her might. Using her strongest attack, which could used only once a day. The attacks hit Jaldabaoth, who was blown away in a storm. Nae-sama. You did it. It's not over yet. How could he have flown so far? Given your brute strength, I think it's possible, Nae-sama, he flew out by himself. Remedios. What should we do? Kalka shouted. Demolish the house without going near it. After hearing that, the priests cast attack spells one after the other. They have rolled with that blow just by flying away. Had he used a martial art like fortress or something? Remedio's still not convinced of her strength. Say, Remedios, why hasn't Jaldabaoth come out yet? Ne-sama, could it be he's already escaped by teleportation? That demon, who spoke so arrogantly. I can't imagine he'd escape without being hurt. We ought to use fire. Pour on the oil and ignite it. May I ask you to bless it, Kalka-sama? Ne-sama, we going to conduct the ritual of holy fire? Doing so to harm an opponent, is that really what a paladin ought to be doing? That's fine. Then, Kalka-sama, the preparations for the ritual, we don't have much time, use the simplified version. Understow, Kukuku. My, this is quite vexing. Suddenly, Jaldabaoth's voice comes from the pile of debris. Remedios immediately stood in front of Kalka and readied her sword. It would seem that it is time for me to get serious. Oh? Then you should have done it earlier. I'll wait, so why don't you show me your power, Kalka-sama, Kalat, get back. Oh yes. In that case, please get back. It would be quite disappointing if you were to die from my shockwave. The ground shakes, the brinks and the timbers swell up. Something massive slowly stood up from the debris. Jaldabaoth.